Hello, welcome back to Saturn Sirens. We had 2 weeks off, but we're back now and we're going to go over the weekly forecast. So, Mary, take it away.
Hi, guys. So let's go over the weekly forecast for the 19th through the 25th of this month. So we are about to enter Sagittarius season on the 22nd, which is nice. As much as I love Scorpio season, I like Sagittarius season better.
Yeah.
We actually just had a new moon in Scorpio yesterday. It was very, very intense and powerful.
I was very productive.
Nice. Well, it's your North Node and your little stellium that you've got there, so that makes sense. It wasn't so great for me, but here we are. So I feel like Sagittarius season could not possibly be more welcome right now.
Yes.
And that's starting on 11/22. Also, Mercury is in Sagittarius right now. It's going to be going from the 13th degree at the beginning of the week through the 21st degree, which is Sagittarius degree. I definitely feel like Mercury in Sagittarius is having people be very communicative, brutally honest, and to the point that their words are probably getting them in trouble. I know that kind of happens for me too, but there's a reason that Mercury doesn't do too well in Sagittarius. And I
Isn't
think
that
we're
every
seeing
season though for your married?
Yeah, that's just the story of my life. And I don't even have natal Mercury in Sagittarius, but I have natal Mercury retrograde. Then we have Mars in Scorpio that will actually be changing signs as well. Mars is going to enter Sagittarius on the 24th, which is Friday. So that's exciting. And although it's not in domicile in Sagittarius, it still does pretty well in that sign. It's a fire sign. Venus is in Libra currently, which has been pleasant. It will touch the South Node at some point. Let's kind of skip to what's actually going on. We're going to have Sun conjunct Mars. So that's going to be a powerful one. It's exact Sunday through Monday. And
it's very close the whole week.
The whole week. So we're going to be feeling it all week long in Scorpio and Sagittarius. Mars is squaring Saturn. Ew. I'm not looking forward to that. Mars square Saturn goes exact on Sunday. So you can feel restricted in your energy. That's for sure. You can feel like you want to go this way, but there can be unexpected obstacles with Mars square Saturn, or just overall feel not as productive is the word I'm looking for with Mars square Saturn. We're having Sun sextile Pluto and Mars sextile Pluto in the middle of the week. Those are exact Monday through Wednesday. Then we come up on Sun square Saturn as well. I feel like next week is going to be an interesting week where we want to do things, but there can be some obstacles in our path, is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And then we end with Uranus sextile Neptune.
That's been happening for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Because they move so slowly. That makes sense. Also, we're having Chiron opposite Venus.
Never goes quite exact, but it gets in.
So it's going to be felt.
Yeah.
Which can bring up some pain or some buried issues that come up to be healed. With Chiron opposing Venus. You know what I noticed too? Sedna enters Taurus on Wednesday. What do you think about that? Because I feel like a lot of us have that in our birth chart since it moves so slow.
Yes.
I know I have Sedna and Taurus natal.
Me too.
I know Sedna is not really the greatest influence. What I've read about Sedna and Taurus is it can cause like shady dealings with money or some type of maybe even getting scammed or things to do with money that are not so honest or ethical. It does move very slowly. It's an asteroid. It's probably not going to be felt just yet. Take a look at where it is in your chart because a lot of people have it in Taurus. It moves very slowly. Ceres conjunct the Sun and Mars, which will be exact Monday through Tuesday. That's a nice influence. Ceres is about how we nurture ourselves, how we feed ourselves as well. Ceres has a lot to do with our crops, and it's kind of like Taurus energy. With it conjuncting the Sun and Mars, taking action, self-care, and nurture yourself is what we're going to be compelled to do. Psyche conjunct Mercury, exact on Tuesday. That's a good one. What do you think about that?
I think that could be a helpful influence for like communicating something that, is very important.
Transformative.
Yeah, transformative.
And Pallas square Pluto, I kind of feel like might bring up some father issues, maybe conflict with fathers or between father figures. Definitely some interesting things that the asteroids are doing next week. But I think what we're going to be feeling the most is the sun conjunct Mars and both Mars and the sun squaring Saturn. And then eventually we'll have the full moon in Gemini while that's happening too. And that goes into next week. We're leading up to that energy, to that full moon at 4 degrees of Gemini. I almost feel like we would have barely recovered from the new moon, and then we have the full moon. And it's also looking kind of challenging too with the square to Saturn, and the Venus will be with the South Node when it happens too. So it should be interesting, but let's just maintain optimism. We are going to be in Sagittarius season. So
yeah, at least we have that.
We're getting closer to the holidays too. Is it actually Thanksgiving next week, or that's the week after?
I think it's the 23rd.
So it is next week.
In between the sun and Mars changing.
It's been an intense month. It's felt very scorpionic this month.
Yeah, I'm so over the Scorpio season. Get me out of here.
Good. I was like gonna say something, but I didn't know if you were enjoying it because you had so much Scorpio. I'm like, I do not
every time it's terrible, and I never even knew it was why. I just knew I felt terrible. And so this is the first time I'm like, oh, I know why it's terrible. But before I was just like raw dogging it, not knowing why I was feeling like shit.
The amount of trauma the new moon brought up, like I had so much anger. I had issues that I thought I worked through, like come up to get to the surface. And it was not a comfortable energy whatsoever. It's been an intense Scorpio season. I think that has to do with Mars being there too this year.
Well, yesterday is the anniversary of my mother's passing, the 1-year anniversary. Wow. And then my dad passed in November as well. It was like November 21st of 2017.
Wow.
Yeah, well, Scorpio is my 4th house. So
oh gosh.
Scorpio season, I don't mind it, but I really do because it is my 4th house. I just like to chill. I like to be, well, I mean, I like that anyway because I have the Pisces moon in the 8th house, but I really do when the sun is in the 4th house in Scorpio. I just like to just be chill and by myself.
Nesting.
And it's not like necessarily sadness or anything. I just want to be snug and cuddle.
Yeah, and it's a hibernation season. Yeah, definitely when it's your 4th house. It's like that feeling of wanting to be under a blanket, just watching movies and be in your comfort zone.
Exactly.
So around this time every year, this is my 12th house. It's transiting my 12th house, all this Scorpio. I always quit my job, and I just quit my job. I thought I was going to make it this time.
Confession time.
The Scorpio season is like never discreet. Like it's always traumatizing somehow.
Well,
like it really isn't.
But this makes sense though, especially with us fire sign risings. You know, it's going to be a water house and it's going to be a hidden house or whatever. But I mean, Scorpio is sort of like fixing the final season. It's like the death of things, especially for you. That makes sense. I mean, maybe it's not the same for earth risings or air risings. I can see it for fire risings.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah, for me, it sucked. It sucked last year. Every November sucks for me. I think it has to do with the fact that I have Pluto and Scorpio in the 3rd house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Mercury ruled, and both angles are Mercury ruled for me. And it's tough. It's not really an energy I'm comfortable with. I don't have Scorpio placements besides
it opposes
Pluto.
your Mars too. So.
Opposing my Mars, and it's my husband's Mars return, which is nice for him. However, for me, I feel like it made me kind of like argumentative. I got banned from TikTok Live permanently.
Oh my god.
Permanently.
Why?
Pluto and Scorpio in the 3rd house. I always get myself in trouble. I got banned for talking about what I experienced when I lived in Lebanon, which I didn't think was a bad thing. But I apparently that's a trigger word for them. So I got banned. I'm just kind of like, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. It's a death and rebirth for me. And I'm kind of considering like boycotting TikTok in general anyways, because they're just pissing me off. I feel like they're so unfair with the way that they censor people, and they constantly ban people for no reason. I'm kind of like, why am I even giving them my energy?
So what's the alternative? What should we do instead?
Yeah,
I don't know. The rest are just as bad in my opinion. I don't really YouTube is like so difficult to get discovered on.
Yeah.
Instagram is pretty bad. So I don't know. I might just take a break in general and just do this with you guys and kind of see where it goes. Pierre and I were kind of talking about selling courses or doing some type of learning
or
course
like a
for past
community to go with it, to help people to be able to understand their chart. I mean, that's what we want anyway. Like, you need to understand your
Yeah.
own chart, even if you're getting readings, because you can't get a reading every week. You know, most people can't. I was
Right.
telling Mary Chase that I had TikTok wouldn't send out the last 2 videos I posted. I mean, they have like 15 views. They put on one that it violated community guidelines. It was about Pluto transiting the ascendant for Capricorn risings.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
it's the computers reading things. I don't know why, but
The
a lot of
algorithm.
I think it's their AI. It just kind of flags certain things,
Yeah.
like, and it's random.
And a lot of creators, even the big ones, are having the same problems. I spent a lot of time on my videos, and it's a waste of time for me to do that
Yes.
if nobody's going to see it. So
Exactly. Yeah, I've had the same thing, and I've seen videos about bigger creators who were complaining about the same thing. Their videos aren't getting viewed anymore. It's kind of like a slap in the face if you're a content creator, because it does take forever to make those videos, and the editing and all of that is just so time consuming. Like, you're putting all this effort into it for nothing.
You
So
should
it's
do
pretty-
YouTube shorts.
But you know, we were kind of dealing with this stuff when Pluto went into Aquarius back in March. There was
Yeah.
it was the day of the TikTok trial, and sure enough, now that it's slowly moving its way back into Aquarius, all these TikTok issues are coming up again. So
Weird.
we'll see what happens next year. I mean, January's right around the corner.
Yeah.
well, there's going to be in Aquarius, there's going to be a transformation in social media anyway. We will
Right.
Yeah.
ride the wave.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick that I uploaded the podcast to like every podcast distributor. It's available on more than just Spotify and YouTube now. It's like literally everywhere, I'm pretty sure.
Great.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like our baby for now, and we'll see where our careers take us. We'll see what happens. So,
All right, guys, good luck next week. It looks challenging, but at least we're getting to Sagittarius season, which will give us some like
Yay.
optimism and freedom
my
and
fifth
like
house.
fun. That'll be really cool. We'll see you guys next week. Talk to you guys later.
Bye, everyone.